Straight ahead on 12 News Weekend, beautifying Birdtown, the part of Robbinsdale that will get a little extra TLC. Then, learning to read in Brooklyn Center.
What letter does pencil start with, Anastasia?
With the help of a remarkable tutor who is legally blind. But first, the local grocery store scene is changing again. This time, a grocery store will close in Brooklyn Park. 12 News Weekend starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. I'm Delane Cleveland.
And I'm Shannon Slatton. Shoppers loyal to Rainbow Foods will soon have one less option in the Northwest Metro.
The Brooklyn Park Rainbow will close in mid-February. It's the fifth Rainbow to close in the Twin Cities in the past year.
I like the people that are in there. They're very friendly.
The Brooklyn Park Rainbow has amassed a loyal customer base over the years.
Everything. I like it all. I like their prices.
I shop here a lot. Every week, at least once.
But when it comes to grocery stores in this area, Rainbow is far from the only option. Across the street is a Cub Foods, next to that is Target, and 2 blocks away is Walmart.
I do both. I do this one and their competition.
Competition is good.
According to Rainbow's parent company, Roundy's, competition wasn't exactly good for this location. Roundy's spokesman Jim Highland said in a statement that an increased competitive footprint from the likes of Walmart and others has made it hard to control costs and remain competitive in the geographies where we have closed stores. As a result, this Rainbow will close on February 16th.
I'm not happy with that.
Speaking for my mom, I know she's very unhappy about it because it is her store of choice.
However, industry experts say they're not surprised by Roundy's decision to close the Brooklyn Park Rainbow.
They weren't making money there. I don't think there's much doubt about it.
The same can be said of Robbinsdale's Rainbow, which closed this past spring.
If it's not profitable for them and they stand out, my expectation is they'll close any store in that ballpark.
Rainbow was once Minnesota's largest grocery store for sales volume, but it has since dropped to 4th behind Cub, Target, and Walmart.
Rainbow's parent company, Roundy's, Rainbow is a stepchild for them. Instead of putting more money into Rainbow, they've decided to go into Chicago.
Which means that Brooklyn Park's Rainbow shoppers will have to devote their loyalties elsewhere.
I'm just not sure. I like this one and I like Rainbow and don't know.
Brooklyn Park isn't the only city affected. Parent company Roundy's also announced it's closing a Rainbow store in Columbia Heights. And experts believe Roundy's could close even more underperforming stores in coming years as their leases expire.
First, it was the shops at Arbor Lakes, then the fountains at Arbor Lakes. Now the last corner in the commercial heart of Maple Grove will be developed. The city administrator tells 12 News that a deal has been signed to develop the nearly 40-acre site at the northeast corner of Elm Creek Boulevard and Hemlock Lane. Opus, the same developer that did the shops and the fountains, will work on the project. Maple Grove already has the most retail in the metro, second only to the Mall of America, so don't expect this new development to be heavy with retail stores.
They're going to want to have some retail in there to add viability to their development. We're looking probably for a hotel, a restaurant, 1 or 2, some offices, some high-end research and development.
The city expects Opus will come forward with development plans in the next month or 2. The city of Robbinsdale has plans to brighten up its downtown plaza area.
City leaders say they want to turn it into a destination spot. Reporter Sonia Goins shows us what's on the to-do list.
I really love Robbinsdale. I think it's great, and it's got, all the stuff that you really need. Drugstores, pizza place, meat markets.
What's not to love? With the sun beaming off the buildings, Robbinsdale looks like a picture postcard.
Robbinsdale is like a little town that a big city grew around, but it still has a very much of a small town flavor to it, which is what I really like about it.
Robbinsdale officials want the rest of the world to feel the same way that David Hughes does.
Well, we're going to try and find some things that will cause people to want to come here and stay here.
To attract more people, they're renovating this plaza.
Really, we want to make this an area that people would just love to come out and hang out at.
Now, the city recently hired a firm to work on the project, so they don't have an official design yet. But they do know what items they want to make improvements on. The mural is on the to-do list. You can see paint peeling in some spots.
So we're going to do some work here. The art gallery also has a lot of ideas about some additional art here.
The benches in the plaza will also get some much-needed TLC.
The benches you can see also are showing some wear. All up and down West Broadway, we're going to take the benches and rehabilitate them and replace boards that need to be replaced, do a good paint job.
And time has not been good for the plaza clock. It will also get some work done.
You know, one of the sides doesn't function. The technology's improved so much since they first put that up. So we're going to improve the technology, have less maintenance requirements.
Well, I was born in '49, so I've lived here all my life.
Longtime Robbinsdale resident Judy Ernestson is on board with the project.
It'll make Robbinsdale look nicer. Bring people in, bring it that hometown feeling again.
In Robbinsdale, Sonia Goins, 12 News.
The price tag is expected to be around $10,000 to $15,000, but city leaders want to hear from residents before they move forward. A survey will be posted on the city's website soon.
Many homeowners are dealing with a headache this weekend. As the temperatures warm up, some homeowners are finding broken pipes. Frigid temperatures caused some pipes to freeze and crack, and they didn't discover the problem until the pipes thawed out and water started dripping.
When it thaws, and especially once it warms up, if you have had pipes that have burst that you haven't noticed, then they're going to become apparent as soon as it thaws, because you're just going to have running water until you shut the water off.
Plumbers say if you discover a leak, turn off the water until you fix the problem.
In our week in review, if you haven't gotten your flu shot yet, doctors stress now is the time to do it. That's because the flu is widespread in Minnesota. Clinics like HCMC in Brooklyn Center say they expect to see even more flu cases since kids have returned to school after winter break. Across Minnesota, 144 people were hospitalized with flu symptoms last week. That's double the previous week. In Osseo, the search for a new home for its police department could lead to Osseo City Hall. The city is now exploring building an addition to the city hall to house its small police staff. The cost for this option would be at least $800,000. The police department is currently housed in a small home built around 1930.
To the best of my judgment and ability, so help me God.
Congratulations.
And in Golden Valley, 2 new council members were officially sworn in, Andy Snope and Larry Fonest. They beat out 7 others to serve 4-year terms. They replaced Dee Dee Scanlon and Paula Pentel, who chose not to run for re-election. Well, coming up on 12 News Weekend, meet a remarkable young man who is helping some of Brooklyn Center's youngest citizens.
And then later in sports, Champlin Park's boys basketball team is halfway to a conference title.
But first, a January warm-up in your AccuWeather forecast. Research shows it's more important than ever to get children reading at a young age.
A special program at Brooklyn Center Schools emphasizes early childhood literacy, and this year students have a very special tutor.
Table 2.
One of the first steps toward educational success begins here.
C.
In circle time.
What sound does C make?
As 4-year-olds start learning how to read.
If kids enter kindergarten behind, it's really hard for them to catch up.
Let's go over here.
Brooklyn Center has expanded its preschool program.
Good artiste, eh?
And enlisted the help of the Minnesota Reading Corps.
There we go.
To emphasize literacy.
Reading Corps is just a really great way for us to give children the best opportunities in literacy when they're this young.
What letter does Cook start with?
Reading Corps members like 23-year-old Jordan Richardson
C.
know it's much more fun to learn about, say, the letter C.
Carl Cook.
From Carl the Cook from...
I'm from Canada, eh?
You guessed it, Canada.
That's right.
Jordan works with students one-on-one and in small groups.
What letter does pencil start with, Anastasia?
In hopes students share his love for reading.
Literacy is actually one of my passions.
But Jordan reads his books in a different way.
It's like a Braille laptop.
Jordan is legally blind.
I do call myself blind.
Well, at first I thought it was going to be a lot more challenging. I thought the students would make more comments.
Jar.
But that hasn't been the case.
It's been wonderful. He's been a huge help.
Instead, teachers say Jordan has been an invaluable asset.
It's been a gift in more than one way. Literacy, and also just because having a male and someone with differing abilities in our classroom, the kids have just really taken to him.
In showing a love of reading can apply to everyone.
Get them to see books as fun, books as an adventure, so that later on they can be like, oh, reading books, I like that. Good job, guys.
Jordan graduated from the University of Minnesota last spring and is currently applying to all law schools around the country. And Delane, he is a very interesting young man, very passionate about reading.
Yeah, that was really fun to watch. Good for him.
Oh,
It's
he did a good
inspiring to
job.
see things like that. Yeah.
Coming up, would you be okay with becoming a Martian? We're going to talk about it. One New Hope man is coming up next.
Then Park Center has one of its best ever girls basketball teams this winter. That's coming up in sports with Jay Wilcox. Welcome back, everyone. Jay Wilcox joins us now with sports, and basketball season well underway, but it sounds like there's one team that's kind of been sneaking up on some people.
Yeah, Champlin Park is a good program over the years, and I think they expected some success this year, but they've been really good so far this year. We're at about the halfway point of the conference schedule now in Northwest Suburban boys basketball, and as usual, it's a good conference. The only unbeaten team so far, Champlin Park. The Rebels are 9-0 in league play and 13-1 overall. They're ranked number 4 in Class A. With a veteran team and 3 all-conference players returning, the Rebels expected to be strong, and they haven't disappointed.
Well, I definitely expected us to be good, but it's just the chemistry of our team and the teamwork. It's never been like a team I've been on before, and it's just really unique how close we are, and I think that's what helps us win some games.
I expected a lot from our boys, but I think they're stepping up even, reaching their expectations even higher. The boys are playing really hard, playing well together, having a lot of fun, which is part of the game for sure, and real happy with the way we've done with the conference first time through here.
Champlin Park went 2-0 in holiday tournament action in St. Cloud, and they own wins over the second and third place teams in the Northwest Suburban, Armstrong and Osseo. Averaging 85 points per game, it's a Rebels team that isn't built around one star player. Instead, it's a lot of very good players.
I feel like we're more as a team. I mean, they can shut down one person. You still got 6, 7 more kids that have to worry about that can score on command. So I think we're just a very dangerous team to be matched up with.
I think it helps us because sometimes you see these teams where guys score 40 a night, but they're never winning games. So we're very balanced, and I think that helps. The balance helps us win.
The Rebels are at Park Center Tuesday, then host Spring Lake Park Wednesday in the week ahead. Champlin Park is just one of many local boys hoops teams that have gained statewide recognition in the polls. Hopkins is rated second behind defending state champ Apple Valley in the Class 4A poll. After Lakeville North, it's a trio of local teams from the Northwest Suburban with Champlin Park, Armstrong, and Osseo 4, 5, and 6. Eden Prairie is the second Lake Conference team in the top 10. In Class 3A, St. Paul Johnson holds the top spot ahead of De La Salle and Holy Family. Surprising, Totino Grace is now up to number 7 in 3A. 2 local teams from the MCAA are in the top 10 in Class A. Brooklyn Park's Maranatha Christian, the state runner-up last season, is number 7. Heritage of Maple Grove is ranked number 9. Belgrade Bruton El Rosa is number 1 in A. Well, Park Center's girls basketball team came into the 2013-14 season with a lot of promise too, and the Pirates are also living up to expectations. With a 9-2 record and a number 2 ranking in Class 3A, there's a lot to like about the season Park Center's posted so far.
I'm really happy with how our team's been playing. We've been all working together really well.
I say up until this point exceeded my expectations. I didn't know if we could be this good this early. I think we have a lot of improving to do still yet, especially defensive end of the floor, but we're playing well, and so I'm happy with that, but pleased but not satisfied.
It's a good mix of ages on this team too, meaning the Pirates should be good for years to come. Senior and Wisconsin recruit Kayla McMorris is one of the state's top players, averaging 20.8 points and 7.8 rebounds. But she's one of just 2 seniors. Junior McKenna DuBois is another strong player, and freshman Michaela Hayes at 11 points per game leads a very strong group of 9th graders that's contributing a lot already. Park Center went 2-1 against very tough competition in a tournament at St. Olaf over the holiday break, boosting their confidence level.
Very happy with how we played there at St. Olaf. We beat Lakeville North, who's a really good team, ranked in the state, obviously. Eastview, tie game with a minute left. We lost that one by 4, but they're number 1 in the state. And then Egan, we played really well against them as well and won that one too. So I was really impressed with the way we played.
Park Center is currently 2nd in the Northwest Suburban Conference behind Centennial, the only league team to beat them. But the real target is De La Salle at playoff time. The Islanders have eliminated the Pirates in the Section 3 3A final for 3 straight seasons. They hope to change that in 2014. Park Center faces two rivals in the week ahead. They're at Champlin Park Tuesday and host Maple Grove on Friday. So very exciting to see how things turn out for them this year. They've been playing great ball.
And it sounds like that tournament play really made all the difference for them over the holidays.
Yeah, that helped them a lot.
Definitely did. Thanks, Jay.
You bet.
After the break, we have a story that is truly out of this world.
Yeah, literally. A New Hope man's dream to go to Mars is one step closer to reality. That story is coming up next. Well, to say it would be the adventure of a lifetime is an understatement.
A New Hope man has a dream to go and actually live on the planet Mars. And this weekend, we'll meet Paul Larson, a semifinalist for a one-way ticket to the Red Planet.
When legendary explorers like the Vikings or Christopher Columbus set out on a voyage of discovery, they didn't know what they would find or if they would ever see home again. But history remembers them for boldly pursuing the unknown.
Hello, I'm Paul, and I would like to go to Mars because I have this grandiose idea of changing the world.
Paul Larson could go down in the history books for being part of the first colony on Mars.
That's bigger than me individually or my family, because what will be accomplished with this mission will affect generations to come long after we're gone.
As a graduate student at St. Cloud State University, Paul wanted to research something new.
I was tired of everybody doing the same old reports.
Then he heard about a privately funded mission called Mars One.
And I said, whoa, time for me to redo my resume.
But then it got even more real. Out of more than 200,000 applicants, Paul made the cut to be a semifinalist for colonization starting in 2024.
This would be a good dream to go.
But the project isn't without skeptics who insist the money and technology just isn't there yet.
I don't know where all this negativity is coming from as far as the mission goes. You know, if you have a dream to do something, you do it, right?
There's also the tough question of Paul leaving his family. He would be going to Mars and not coming back.
It'll be okay. We have he said we have 10 years to prepare.
His family is taking that news one step at a time, but ready to support Paul if he has the chance to step on Mars and into history.
Be part of that new frontier and, create some history and be a part of that. That would be very exciting.
Paul is one of about 1,060 others who are in the semifinalist stage. So it sounds like his family still thinks it's a long shot. Not quite sure if he'll make the cut yet. But I definitely think the hardest part would be living in those small capsules with 4 other people. You better like who you're with, right?
Exactly. The trip there probably will be a little tough go too.
Yeah,
Goodness.
220 days to get there. So quite a car trip.
Just think, if you have to go to the doctor, get all your prescription medications taken care of.
Yeah, there you go. Can't come back and get that taken care of. That's all the news we have for now, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
See you on Monday.